Deep in the woods of England stood the abandoned Blackwood Manor, a vast, decaying mansion that had long been a source of fear and fascination for the nearby villagers. Tales of ghostly apparitions, eerie sounds, and unexplained disappearances had surrounded the mansion for decades. No one dared to venture near it, especially after sunset. One autumn evening, a group of 4 friends, Emily, Jack, Sarah, and Mike, decided to investigate the mansion. They were university students studying paranormal activities, and Blackwood Manor seemed like the perfect subject for their research. Armed with cameras, flashlights, and a sense of adventure, they set out for the old mansion, unaware of the horror that awaited them. As they approached the manor, the air grew colder, and an unsettling silence enveloped them. The once grand entrance was now overgrown with ivy, and the front door hung loosely on its hinges. They hesitated for a moment before Emily, the bravest of the group, pushed the door open. It creaked loudly, echoing through the empty halls. Inside, the mansion was even more decayed than they had imagined. Dust-covered furniture, shattered windows, and cobwebs adorned every corner. They began exploring, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. In the grand foyer, they found an old portrait of the Blackwood family, a stern-looking man, his beautiful wife, and their 2 children. According to local legend, the family had mysteriously disappeared one night, leaving the mansion abandoned. "Let's split up and cover more ground," Jack suggested. "We'll meet back here in an hour." Reluctantly, the group agreed and went their separate ways. Emily and Sarah headed upstairs, while Jack and Mike stayed on the ground floor. Emily and Sarah explored the bedrooms, each one more decrepit than the last. As they entered the master bedroom, they felt a sudden chill. The temperature dropped noticeably, and they could see their breath in the air. "Do you feel that?" Sarah whispered. Emily nodded, her eyes wide with fear. They heard a faint whispering sound, like a distant conversation. It grew louder, and they realized it was coming from the closet. With trembling hands, Emily opened the door, revealing a hidden staircase leading to the attic. Meanwhile, Jack and Mike were in the library, examining the dusty bookshelves. Jack pulled out an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. It belonged to Jonathan Blackwood, the last owner of the mansion. As he read aloud, they learned about Jonathan's obsession with dark rituals and his attempts to summon spirits from the afterlife. "Mike, we need to find the others," Jack said, his voice filled with urgency. "There's something seriously wrong with this place." In the attic, Emily and Sarah discovered a circle of candles and strange symbols drawn on the floor. The air was thick with the smell of incense. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and they heard footsteps approaching. A cold, dark figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. "You shouldn't have come here," it hissed. "You will never leave." Panicking, Emily and Sarah tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure advanced, and they felt a crushing sense of dread. Just as it reached out to touch them, the door burst open, and Jack and Mike rushed in. "Run!" Jack shouted. "Oh!" They fled the attic, the dark figure close behind. As they raced down the stairs, the house seemed to come alive. Doors slammed, windows shattered, and a deafening roar filled the air. They reached the foyer, only to find the front door sealed shut. "We're trapped," Mike yelled, his voice barely audible over the chaos. Thinking quickly, Jack remembered the journal and the ritual Jonathan Blackwood had described. "We need to find the ritual room," he said. "It's our only chance." With no other options, they followed Jack through the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, dodging falling debris and avoiding the malevolent spirit that pursued them. They finally reached the basement, where they found a large, ornate door covered in strange symbols. "This must be it," Jack said, pushing the door open. Inside, they found an altar with an ancient book and a ceremonial dagger. Jack quickly flipped through the pages, searching for the ritual to banish the spirit. The air grew colder, and the dark figure appeared in the doorway. "Hurry!" Jack, Emily cried, holding the flashlight steady as he read the incantation. The room shook violently as Jack recited the words. The spirit let out a piercing scream, its form dissolving into a cloud of smoke. The ground beneath them cracked open, and the spirit was pulled into the abyss, leaving behind an eerie silence. Exhausted and shaken, the friends made their way back to the foyer. The front door was now open, and the cold night air rushed in. They stumbled out of the mansion, relieved to be alive. As they walked back to the village, Emily turned to her friends. "We need to make sure no one ever goes back there." They agreed, and the next day they reported their findings to the authorities. The mansion was sealed off, and warning signs were posted around the property. The villagers continued to tell the legend of Blackwood Manor, but now they included the brave group of friends who had faced the darkness and survived. But some nights when the wind blew just right, the villagers swore they could still hear faint whispers coming from the direction of the manor, reminding them that some horrors never truly fade away.